Do you remember what we studied last time? Let's continue our journey into scalp and hair care science today. I'm Professor Jung-Won Kim from the Department of Beauty Arts at Yongsan University. Let's stay motivated and learn with energy. The stratum spinosum is the thickest epidermal layer, consisting of 5 to 10 layers of spinous-shaped keratinocytes. Lymph fluid flows between these cells, providing nutrition and aiding in waste removal. Langerhans cells within this layer play a crucial role in immune response by detecting external substances and skin injuries. Now let's take a closer look at the stratum spinosum, which is actually the thickest layer of the epidermis. This layer is made up of 5 to 10 layers of keratinocytes. But not just any keratinocytes. These cells are spiny or prickle-shaped, and that's where the layer gets its name, spinosum. Under the microscope, these cells appear to be holding hands with each other through desmosomes, which are like little bridges connecting them together. This structure gives strength and resilience to the skin. Now here's something cool. Lymph fluid flows between these cells. Why is that important? Because this fluid provides nutrients and helps remove waste, kind of like room service in a hotel, bringing in what's needed and taking out the trash. It's one of the key ways the scalp maintains its health below the surface. Here's a real-world example. Have you ever scratched your scalp too hard with your fingernails? What you can't see is that the stratum spinosum is immediately at work, activating your skin's defense system. Inside this layer, we find Langerhans cells, which act like security guards. They detect anything foreign, bacteria, allergens, even microdamage, and alert the immune system. So the moment your scalp is irritated or injured, these cells respond like an emergency team, protecting you from infection. This is why, even though you might not see it, your scalp is constantly working to protect you, even when you're just brushing your hair or exposed to pollution. So the stratum spinosum isn't just a passive structure. It's dynamic, intelligent, and immune active. Understanding its function helps us realize how incredible and responsive the skin really is, especially in scalp care. Engaging lecture script. Stratum basale with explanation and imagery. Let's now explore the stratum basale, the foundation of the entire epidermis. This is the deepest layer of the skin's epidermis, and it's where all the action begins. It's made up of just a single row of columnar or cuboidal-shaped basal cells, but don't let its thinness fool you. This layer is incredibly important. These basal cells are the stem cells of the skin. They continuously divide and push new cells upward to replenish the skin layers above. That means every keratinocyte you see on the surface originally started its life here, in the stratum basale. Here's something fascinating. For every 1 melanocyte, which produces melanin, our skin pigment, there are about 10 keratinocytes surrounding it. This means pigment gets evenly distributed as new cells rise toward the surface. Think of melanocytes as little ink droppers, tinting the skin, one cell at a time. This layer is also in direct contact with the dermis, and they communicate constantly. Nutrients, oxygen, and growth signals are passed through the dermal capillaries to feed the dividing cells. Without this interaction, the skin wouldn't be able to regenerate. Holding it all together is the basement membrane, which acts like a Velcro-like glue, firmly anchoring the epidermis to the dermis. It also acts as a filter and communicator, ensuring that only the right materials and signals get through. Here's a quick real-life connection. When you cut your skin, it's the cells in the stratum basale that rush to start healing. They divide faster, migrate to cover the wound, and rebuild the skin from the bottom up. So next time you get a scratch and it magically disappears in a few days, you can thank your basal layer. In short, the stratum basale is the birthplace of the skin, where cell division, pigment distribution, and dermal-epidermal communication all begin. Let's continue our journey through the layers of the skin by diving into the stratum basale, the very bottom layer of the epidermis. This layer may be just one row of cell stick, but it's truly the powerhouse of skin renewal. These basal cells are shaped like columns or cubes, and they constantly divide to produce new skin cells. Think of it as a skin factory, running 24/7 to replace dead or damaged cells. Here's something cool. For every one melanocyte, which gives our skin its color, there are about 10 keratinocytes. That's why even a small number of melanocytes can have a big impact on skin tone, especially when you get a tan or pigmentation spots. Now, this layer is directly connected to the dermis, the deeper part of the skin, and it gets all its nutrients and oxygen from dermal capillaries. Without that connection, skin cell regeneration would be impossible. Imagine trying to grow a plant without water. Impossible, right? Also, let's not forget the basement membrane. It's like the double-sided tape that holds the epidermis and dermis together. Without it, the layers would separate, and that could lead to serious skin issues. So, if you've ever wondered how your skin heals after a cut, or why your skin seems to renew itself every few weeks, now you know. It all begins in the stratum basale. Keratinocytes form the majority of epidermal cells, providing a protective barrier. Melanocytes produce melanin, crucial for ultraviolet protection. Langerhans cells are immune sentinels, detecting pathogens. Merkel cells, located in the basal layer, are essential for sensory perception, transmitting touch signals to the nervous system. Beneath the epidermis lies the dermis, a powerful and dynamic layer that plays a vital role in scalp and skin health. The dermis is made up of two parts: the papillary layer, closer to the surface, and the reticular layer, deeper down. Think of the papillary layer as the gentle cushion and the reticular layer as the strong foundation. What makes the dermis so special? It's packed with blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to the skin, and even to the cells of the epidermis above it. It contains collagen and elastin fibers, which are like the skin's scaffolding. These fibers give the skin its strength and elasticity. Imagine how your skin stretches and bounces back when you smile or raise your eyebrows. This layer also supports important skin functions, such as temperature regulation and waste removal. Here's an example. Have you ever pinched your skin and noticed how it snaps back quickly? That's thanks to the collagen and elastin in your dermis. But as we age or expose our skin to too much sun, these fibers break down and the skin starts to sag or wrinkle. Understanding the structure of the dermis helps us better care for the scalp, especially when addressing issues like aging, sensitivity, and hair loss. It's not just a support system, it's the engine room of healthy skin. The papillary layer, adjacent to the basal membrane of the epidermis, features deep undulations in healthy skin. It supplies nutrients and oxygen via capillaries and lymphatic vessels, and contains fine collagen fibers. This layer plays a crucial role in maintaining skin health and supporting the epidermis. The reticular layer, the thicker part of the dermis, is crucial for skin's elasticity and tensile strength. It contains densely packed collagen fibers in a mesh-like structure, interwoven with elastic fibers, providing robust support and flexibility. This intricate network is essential for maintaining the skin's structural integrity and resilience. Inside the dermis, there's a powerful hero called collagen, and it makes up about 70% of the dermis by weight. That's a lot. Collagen is like a strong, rope-like protein that gives the skin its structure, elasticity, and strength. Imagine a trampoline. Collagen is the spring that helps it bounce back. Without it, our skin would be saggy and weak. These amazing fibers are made by fibroblasts, special cells that act like the skin's builders. They produce collagen to protect the skin from pressure, stretching, and even chemical irritants. But here's the catch. As we age, our body slows down collagen production. The fibers become thinner and less organized, and our skin starts to lose its firmness and bounce. This is why wrinkles, sagging, and dryness appear more over time. Think of it like this. Young skin is like a brand new elastic band, stretchy and smooth. Aging skin is like an old rubber band, looser and more fragile. That's why proper scalp and skin care, including hydration, sun protection, and a healthy lifestyle, is so important to help preserve collagen and maintain youthful, healthy skin. Let's meet two key players in the dermis: elastic fibers and the ground substance. Elastic fibers make up about 3 to 4% of the dermis. They're like tiny rubber bands, coiled irregularly, and they give the skin its spring and stretch. Without them, your skin wouldn't bounce back when stretched. Imagine pulling a rubber band. It snaps back. That's what elastic fibers do for your skin. Now, between those fibers and skin cells is a special gel-like substance called the ground substance. Think of it as a jelly filling the gaps. It's made up of mucopolysaccharides like hyaluronic acid, which holds water like a sponge. This substance keeps the skin hydrated, plump, and smooth, and it also contains proteins and minerals that help with nutrient exchange and water retention. When your skin is well hydrated, it looks more radiant, feels more elastic, and functions better. That's why skincare products often contain hyaluronic acid to mimic this natural moisture barrier. So remember, elastic fibers equals bounce and ground substance equals hydration. Together, they help keep your skin healthy and youthful. Let's zoom in on some of the hidden workers inside the dermis. Without them, our skin would be dull, saggy, and vulnerable. First, meet the fibroblasts. Though they make up only 3 to 4% of the dermis, they are like mini factories producing collagen, elastic fibers, and ground substance. In short, they are the architects of skin elasticity. Then we have the mast cells, the skin's version of emergency responders. When there's an irritant or allergy, they release histamine, triggering itching or inflammation. That's why your scalp itches during an allergic reaction or with dermatitis. But the defense team doesn't stop there. The dermis is also home to white blood cells and lymphocytes, which play critical roles in our immune system, especially in fighting off infections and skin damage. Fun example, ever wonder why some people get red, itchy patches on their scalp when stressed or exposed to allergens? That's your mast cells and immune cells in action, sometimes a bit too active. Understanding these cells is key to treating scalp conditions like seborrheic dermatitis, psoriasis, or even hair loss linked to inflammation. Let's talk about the subcutaneous layer, your scalp's hidden support system. Beneath the dermis lies a vital but often overlooked layer, the subcutaneous tissue, also known as the hypodermis. This layer is mainly composed of fat and connective tissue, making it your scalp's natural cushion. Imagine it as a shock absorber, protecting the head from bumps and external pressure. It also acts as an insulator, helping your body conserve heat, which is why your head stays warm in cold weather. Plus, it's an energy reservoir. The fat stored here serves as backup fuel for the body. And that's not all. The subcutaneous layer supports the passage of nerves and blood vessels, connecting deeper structures to the skin above. This makes it essential for both scalp sensitivity and circulation, which directly impacts hair health. Example, think about how a padded winter jacket protects and warms you. That's exactly what this layer does inside your scalp. So next time you're treating the scalp, remember that healthy hair begins much deeper than what you can see. The scalp serves as a vital protective barrier for the brain, bones, and muscles against external threats and infections. A sebum sweat film maintains moisture and defends against microbes. The granular layer and stratum corneum prevent chemical absorption, while melanin cells shield against ultraviolet damage, ensuring scalp health and integrity. The scalp, like the rest of the skin, participates in skin respiration, which accounts for 1 to 3% of human respiration. This process supports cell division and is regulated by the sympathetic nervous system, being most active at night. However, clogged pores from keratin or waste can impede this vital function, affecting scalp health and regeneration. The scalp absorbs substances via the stratum corneum and skin appendages like hair follicles. Smaller, lipid-based molecules penetrate more easily. Absorption through pores and sweat glands is more efficient than through surface cells. Both beneficial and harmful substances can be absorbed, highlighting the importance of maintaining scalp cleanliness for optimal health and hair growth. Transdermal absorption in the scalp. Why it matters. Did you know that what you apply to your scalp doesn't just sit on the surface? Your scalp absorbs substances through pathways like the stratum corneum and hair follicles. These tiny entry points allow small, lipid-soluble molecules, such as those found in hair serums or scalp treatments, to penetrate more efficiently. This means both beneficial ingredients, like nutrients and active treatments, and harmful substances, like chemicals or pollutants, can enter your system through the scalp. Example, it's like a sponge. If it's clean, it absorbs clean water well. But if it's dirty, it can also soak in toxins. That's why scalp cleanliness is not just about appearance. It's essential for overall scalp health and optimal hair growth.
All right, everyone, now let's explore one of the most essential functions of the scalp: secretion and excretion. Your scalp isn't just a surface that grows hair, it's actually very active. The sebaceous glands and sweat glands in the scalp are highly developed, and they work together to produce a mixture of sebum and sweat. This combination forms a thin protective film on the scalp. And this film? It does so much more than you might think. It prevents bacterial infections by acting like a natural shield. It locks in moisture, keeping the scalp and hair hydrated. It adds shine to your hair. Yes, that natural glow isn't just about products. And it even supports vitamin D synthesis when your scalp is exposed to sunlight. But that's not all. This system also helps your body get rid of harmful substances like waste and even heavy metals through sweat. So next time you feel sweaty after a workout, remember, your scalp is doing its job and doing it well. Now, class, let's talk about something that might surprise you: the scalp's role in regulating body temperature, also known as thermoregulation. You may not think of your scalp as part of your internal thermostat, but it absolutely is. Our body tries to maintain a steady temperature of around 36.5 degrees, and the scalp plays an important role in that process. Let me give you two scenarios. First, when it's hot or when you're working out. Your blood vessels expand, allowing more blood to flow near the surface. Then, your sweat glands release sweat. This sweat evaporates, carrying heat away from your body. It's your body's natural cooling system. Now, when it's cold, the capillaries constrict, meaning blood flow to the scalp is reduced. Your erector pili muscles contract. Those are the tiny muscles attached to hair follicles. This closes your pores and traps heat to keep you warm. Pretty smart, right? So remember, your scalp isn't just growing hair. It's actually working behind the scenes to help keep your entire body comfortable.
Let's take a closer look at the sensory functions of the scalp. Your scalp isn't just about hair. It's packed with sensory nerve endings that detect warmth, cold, pain, touch, and pressure. These nerves end in structures called sensory receptors, or what we call sensation points. There are different types of sensation points: warm points, cold points, touch points, pressure points, and of course, pain points. Now, here's something interesting. On average, within just 1 square centimeter of your skin, there are 1 to 2 warm points, 12 cold points, 25 touch points, and a surprising 100 to 200 pain points. That tells us our skin, especially the scalp, is extremely sensitive, particularly to pain. So why does this matter for scalp hair? Well, understanding these nerve endings helps us approach treatments like massage, pressure, or temperature-based therapies with more precision and care.
Always remember, the scalp is not only a foundation for hair, but also a highly responsive sensory organ.
Let's take a closer look at how the scalp absorbs substances, which is a key concept in understanding scalp health and treatment efficacy. The scalp absorbs materials primarily through the stratum corneum, which is the outermost layer of the skin. In addition to this barrier layer, absorption also occurs through skin appendages, such as hair follicles, sebaceous glands, and sweat glands. These structures act as channels, allowing certain substances to enter more deeply into the skin. Here's something important to remember. Smaller molecules, especially those that are lipid-based, can penetrate the skin more easily and effectively. Why? Because the skin's barrier is made up of lipid-rich structures, so lipid-soluble ingredients pass through more smoothly. Also, absorption through pores and glandular openings tends to be faster and more efficient compared to absorption directly across the flat surface of the skin. This is why many scalp care products are designed to be massaged into the scalp to enhance penetration through these pathways. But here's the crucial point. Both beneficial and harmful substances can enter the body through the scalp. That means while nutrients, vitamins, and hair growth agents can be absorbed to promote health, toxins, pollutants, and chemical residues can also be absorbed if the scalp is not clean. So maintaining a clean and healthy scalp environment is not just about hygiene. It's about ensuring that what gets absorbed is helping, not harming. A clean scalp improves absorption of treatment products, reduces the risk of irritation or buildup, and promotes optimal conditions for hair growth. In summary, understanding the scalp's absorption pathways helps us make better choices in product selection, treatment techniques, and daily care routines. Shampooing primarily removes foreign substances like dust, pollutants, and smoke from the hair and scalp. These can mix with sweat and sebum, leading to pore blockage and odors. Daily shampooing is recommended for oily scalps or those in dusty environments, while dry scalps should limit to 3 to 4 times weekly to retain essential oils. Now let's talk about silicone in shampoos, something many of you might have seen on product labels. Silicone is often added to shampoos because it coats the hair, helping to reduce tangling and add a shiny finish. That's why your hair often feels smoother and looks glossier after washing. But here's the important part. If you don't rinse thoroughly, that silicone can leave behind sticky residue. Over time, this residue builds up on the scalp and hair, especially around the roots. The result? It can diminish volume. It may block chemical absorption during treatments, like coloring or perming, and it can interfere with the effectiveness of hair care products. So what's the solution? Rinse thoroughly. Always make sure you wash out all product residue, not just to maintain clean, healthy hair, but to ensure your treatments actually work. That one simple habit can make a huge difference in both scalp health and treatment results. Regular, gentle brushing stimulates the scalp, promoting blood circulation and aiding in detangling before shampooing. It helps remove waste material from the scalp, minimizing friction damage during washing. However, excessive brushing can lead to irritation and inflammation, so it's crucial to maintain a gentle approach. Let's begin by exploring what hair really is and why it matters. Hair is a unique feature of mammals, and it originates from the evolution of the skin. It is primarily composed of keratin, which is a strong, fibrous protein. Hair covers most of the human body, except for certain areas, like the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Now, why is hair important? Of course, it helps with insulation, keeping us warm. But that's not all. Hair also serves as a protective barrier. It helps shield our skin from physical damage and chemical irritants, making it a vital part of our body's defense system. In short, hair plays an essential role in human biology, beyond just appearance. Let's take a look at some interesting facts about hair growth and density. Did you know that the human body has approximately 1.3 to 1.4 million hairs? Of these, about 100,000 hairs are found on the scalp alone. That's a lot of hair follicles working every day. Now, how fast does hair grow? On average, it grows about 0.3 to 0.4 millimeters per day. That may not seem like much, but it adds up to around 1 to 1.5 centimeters per month. Naturally, we also shed hair every day. It's completely normal to lose about 80 to 100 strands daily. But here's the important part. Hair growth is not the same for everyone. It's influenced by several factors, including overall health, nutritional habits, genetics, and the environment you live in. So, maintaining a healthy lifestyle isn't just good for your body. It's also essential for your scalp and hair health.